So I'm not sure what happened there, but we're back recording. Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Emmanuel. I'm a developer relations engineer here at Aventus Network. And today I will be showing you some really interesting things that we've been working with on the tech side. I will be showing you some of our repos that are going to be extremely helpful for you, especially if you're a developer that's really interested in the core technology that we're working on here at Aventus. If you're interested in how the blockchain works in the enterprise space, I've got some interesting things to show you. I'm going to be talking about our gateway API, which is very interesting. We have some unreleased technology there that's going to be coming out soon. And as opposed to just waiting till we release it like I usually do, and then come and then talk to you about the really cool things, I thought probably to give you something to show you exactly what's coming out soon, so you understand what we've been working on. You have something to look forward to, and then you can have something, you can start thinking about how all the ways to play with it and how to build on it once we release it. So I'm going to firstly start off here with our staking app. I'm going to share my screen now. Yes. Okay. Okay, great. So I assume that you can see my screen. So here we have our staking app, and as you know, we've released our staking app a few months ago. Now it allows you to stake, unstake, withdraw, and see your balance as released at the time on the staking app here. You can do similar operations on the system wallet. I know some of you are familiar with that, but on our staking app, there's a few more functionality that you can do there. For example, being able to withdraw, being able to see your balance there, and one really cool feature that we've just added to the staking app that I wanted you to also see and take advantage of, because it's not just a UI feature. You can also access this on the gateway documentation side of it. So if you're building out a tool, you're building out some UI for people to also be able to stake AVT, you want to also be aware that it's possible for them to see their rewards, and you want to add this feature into your UI as well. So here we have the staking app. Here you've got the stake on stake, withdraw, balance, and rewards. Now, rewards here, you've got two key things happening. One, you can check your rewards over time, like since the first time I staked, or you can check your rewards over a specified window, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is connect my wallet to the staking app there. I'm going to do this. And once my wallet's connected there, just so in case you missed it, you got three different wallet options that there: Polkadot.js, Talisman, sub wallet. But again, in your UI, you can specify the kind of wallets that you want to support in your UI there. Now, all of this is going through behind the scenes on the gateway, and it's probably great for me to pull up the inspect there, and then just so you can kind of see things being fired off there. Now, coming here to just clicking on this, get your rewards. Of course, you have to sign to validate your AVT. Now, this is something that is really cool, and it's not something that you see in the Web3 enterprise space a lot. It's really this feature of a payer account. Now, a payer account is a designated account that says, I want to pay the fees for XYZ customers of mine. So when you go into the enterprise space and you have this concept of, we have customers that want to get all the benefits of a blockchain, but they're not really conversant with the idea of crypto, or really conversant with the security techniques behind crypto. As an enterprise, you probably want to shield them from that and protect them from that because you're trained on that, or you want to outsource that to a company that's trained on that. If you want to then pay for all that crypto fees and then charge them fiat, for example. So you have this concept of a payer, and a payer here would be that person who pays all the transaction fees for a customer or for a set of customers, right? So you come in here, and then as a customer, as a user, you can say, I've got a pair or I've not got a pair. So if you've got a company that's paying for you, you would know, and then you'd be able to say, I've got a pair, and then I'll click yes to that. If I don't have anyone who's paying my transaction fee, so that would be a no there. It's just a concept that we have there on the gateway. And if you're building this into your UI, there's just something to also take into consideration, that the idea of a pair there. So now, is there a designated account to pay for this? In my case, yes, there is. And then I go on to actually signing into my wallet. with this now, it says, oh, you're not part of a registered pair program. Now, this is something again that we built into there, because if you're not part of that, it returns that you're not part of that, just so you're also fully aware of how that works there. Now, over time, it's saying that here, end rewards, there are no rewards end for this account. But moving to testnet there, I'm able to see this. And I'm able to see the rewards that I've earned over a period of time by staking there. Now, as we saw, this is just a test account there. So it's just really to demonstrate to you this new functionality there. You can check your rewards earned over time. Now, by clicking on this filter by day, you can put in a start day, you can put in an end date, and really just say, okay, I want to see how much I've earned over a specified period of time, whether that's from like the 1st of June to the end of August, or any specific window that you can stake in there. And that will pull that up for you there, right? And you can see on the right here, all the things that are basically being fired up. There you have your, what's this? You have your gateway endpoints being fired up there. You have your get staker rewards being in, and that's basically putting it as the params, the account ID. And then on the, what's this? On the gateway documentation side of it. So if you are wanting to include this feature into your UI that you built for people to be able to stake AVT, you can come then to the staking queries, then what's this? Get staker rewards and you have that there that you can then take advantage of and just add that to your UI, add that to your tool, so people are able to just not just stake and unstake, but also see the rewards that they've earned. So we've added this on there for you as part of the toolkits that you have access to there. And when you're staking, I say also, if you are using the staking dApp, using any of our dApps that of which they're built on the gateway, you can then pull up the network tab on this and see all the actions as they're being fired off there. So for example, you're querying whether you're getting the staker rewards there, or if I switch over to the balance tab there, and then you can see those whereas this, you can see those being fired up, like get account information, the params there. You can see the response of how that's coming through there. Your total balances, your free balance, your stake balance, your unlock balance, all that information that we then present to you in this really cool pie chart over there. So you can also do this and pull in all that information there yourself. Just something to point out to you in case you're wondering how what's been fired off, how it's been returned back from the gateway. You can just see all of that information over there. Wow, awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Francesco. That's great feedback. Thank you very much. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is also on the topic of the gateway. So when I authenticated myself initially, I spoke about split fee. Now, split fee is this really cool feature, again, that we have on the, where's this? This really cool feature that we have again on the gateway there. And now, using the split fee there, you are able to basically not just put this into accept this into a staking dApp, but for any dApp that you're using entirely, so it's really essential for companies, for enterprises who really want to abstract the customers from that level of crypto and just handle all that payments there. Clients use this all the time, so it's just something to bring to your awareness that if you're actually building out a tool, building out a product, building a service, and you didn't want your customers, you're worried about how customers are going to get on this new token that you're wanting. So let me give you a scenario. You've created a token that an ERC20 token, for example. You've created this on Ethereum and you've lifted it to Aventus because you want to take advantage of everything Aventus has to offer in terms of lower transaction speed, lower transaction fee, faster transaction execution rate. You want to take advantage of everything Aventus has to offer. So you've lifted your token there, and now you're like, okay, how do I still get people to pay for this using, this? How do I get people to interact with this token there? All of this is then abstracted in this whole split fee concept, right? So you can have that split fee concept that you can have people transferring your tokens, whether they're using your tokens in a gamified sense or in whether you're using your tokens in the marketplace, you're using your tokens in a game, you're using your tokens in whatever scenario that is. You don't have this idea of the split fee, so that they don't have to then worry about this token and that token and that token. You can handle all the transaction fees on your side while letting them to handle all the other interesting things on that side as well in regards to your token there. So you have that feature. Sorry?
Comunque se trovi quella mediocre, settando può fare già tutto. Mediocre sempre buono.
Sorry, I thought that was a question coming through. Okay, great. So now we'll leave it this. To show you how you would do this on the actual gateway there, you have, for example, set up. Okay. So we read a piece about this some time ago, and if you wanted to include your split fee into your code, that there's a way you could do that. You have these three things that you really have to just be mindful of. That you have your Siri, you have your hash payer, and you have your payer address. Now, once you're sending off a transaction there, as part of your options when you're putting off your transactions there, you can specify, what is this, initialize, yep, let's go here. Yeah, awesome. So when you're initializing the API, you can specify, okay, as part of my options, I want to specify if this person has a payer or not. So if you say has a payer, then that person goes off as, you can put a false or true. So false means this person doesn't have a payer, or true, this person has a payer. Now, when you're dealing with a dApp from your side, or when you're dealing with something that's more user facing, they have to indicate if they have a payer or not, or there has to be some check process there. But you can basically bake this into your system. So the way of identifying if someone has a payer is simplified now because it's just this flag. It's a true or false flag. Does this person have a payer, or does the person not have a payer? And once this flag is indicated there, the gateway handles everything else in terms of identifying who the payer of this particular user is. So you don't have to say, oh, this payer has this user, this payer has a different user, this payer has a different user. The gateway handles all of that for you in a very, very nice and sleek way that doesn't really impact or add any extra latency to how your transactions are being submitted or the responses are being returned. So we've handled that in a very niche and very nice way there for you. So just to run through that again, if you've written out the code or you have your current code as built on Aventus Network and you want to introduce the concept of payers, all you just have to do is just this little flag that says has payer, whether that's false, whether that's true, and that goes in your options there when you're initializing the API there. If it's then for the user to indicate that, you'd have to then allow the user to indicate that thing by providing them with a UI confirmation box of if they have a payer or not. And once they do that, then that goes to successfully there, and you can then build out your options the way you currently already do that. Is there any question on this? I'm happy to take questions as I go along. Okay, cool. I assume that there are no questions. That's fine. Thanks, Francesco. I said, oh, nice, cool. Do me something cool. Got you. That's perfect then. Okay, so now moving on to this. As many of you know, it's been a major request for some time that, hey guys, when are we going to see Aventus on the Polkadot.js UI? And great news, I'm sure you saw the announcement of some time ago. We did announce that we are now on the Polkadot.js UI. So you can go to polkadot.js.org, go to the apps, scroll down, Polkadot parachains, and you see Aventus there. You see our mainnet there, and if you go down to test for global parachains, you see us there as well as a tester there. Now, the really cool thing about this is not just the fact that we are on there, but the fact that you can see so much of what's happening on the chain. Right? So my screen's on this side, that's why I'm just looking at this side. So you can see a lot of what's happening there on the chain there. You can see balance transfers that are coming in. You can see all the events that are coming in. You have access to all the blocks that are coming in there as well. And you can click through and see what's happening there. Now, I'm just going to go to the tester there, just so I can show you. Can I just do an example transaction there for you? Where is this? My network's having issues. Okay, fine. Show what's going on with my network. Okay. Now here, I've still got some events going on there. That's fine. Now you can come through here and basically see. So the first thing, let me show you this first thing. First thing here is you can transfer AVT here. Now this is really key because we've put out quite a number of tools that help not just the everyday Aventus user, but enterprises as well. So for example, you have your lifting app that enables you to lift any ERC20 token, ERC777 token, AVT or native ETH from Ethereum to the Aventus network. So you can really take advantage of all the tools that we have, all the really the great advantages of the Aventus blockchain: speed, reduced fees, very niche pallets that you can take advantage of all of those. Now you have the lower end that allows you to then exit the network if there's need for that, taking NFTs out, taking tokens out, whatever those are there. Then you have the staking that allows you to stake your AVT. You have the governance that we used for so many of you were part of that, voting on proposals, casting your votes for yay or nay on different proposals that we put across there. So now, well, besides the Sesame wallet there, and besides like some other mobile wallets there, we're thinking about this would be the only way then for you to be able to transfer everything from one account to another account, right? And it's really key to be able to provide you with that functionality there. So you're able to do this by going to accounts on the transfer, specify the account that you want to transfer that AVT from. And just to say, you can import your accounts from your Polkadot.js extension into Polkadot.js and then have your accounts available there for you to access. You can then do that, so whatever accounts you want to send AVT from over there, which I'm just going to do. Yeah, let's do that. I know. And just send whatever you wanted to send there, right? Make transfer and just submit that. And that will go across there, and then you have basically your transfer there. You have this tool that you're able to do that. But more importantly, that you're able to see events come in, which is one really cool way people have been using this tool. See events come in as they arrive in on the Aventus network as transactions are being fired up by various different clients. And then you're able to also see things in the chain state, right? Of which I will show you that in a second. Now you can go in there, for example, see things like, go to like Ethereum events, and then see, oh, what's the lifting contract address? Oh, so we've got a green tick there, so that's gone through okay. And then you can just go to the Explorer, see balance transfer. That's happened over there. You can click on that, go into that block and see, oh, balance withdrawn there from my account there. Deposit, and there's a balance transfer. You can, if you're really geeky and really love all this stuff, you can really get into this and see all the information that's provided there for you. What we're really doing is providing a larger and larger window into what we're doing, into the Aventus blockchain, into the Aventus network, the entire ecosystem there. Now, a year ago, this wasn't possible, but we're providing this, we're expanding the network, we're opening things up, and really giving you a chance to really play around with things and really get familiar with the Aventus blockchain and the Aventus network there. Now, going on here, you have what's this? Right, I was going to show you the chain state. So you're able to go in there, for example, I'll go to Ethereum events, of which then go there and then say, okay, cool, what's the lifting contract for this particular network, and see what that contract is there. You're able to just query things there and get information there. So we're providing more access, essentially, is what it is, and you can play around with a lot more stuff on there. So if you haven't had a chance to play around, or if you did not know that existed there, I'd say definitely go on there, Polkadot.js.org. Just go there, scroll down to Polkadot parachains, click on Aventus, switch to it, or check out the testnet version, which is on Ngubo, and then play around with it. See the events as they come in. You can keep an eye on it, you can monitor it, you can see as things are being fired off, coming in, whether those are token balance transfers over there. You can just basically see all those interesting things going on there. So I'll leave that up to you to really discover and play around with. Now, just to also show you this, we've announced it already, but just to also show you, in case for some of that are not aware, we have, in the process of making more things available to you, we have open sourced our pallets. Now, we've started open sourcing for some time, but now there's even more things that are available to you. There's more tooling that you can really play around with, right? So two key things I want to point you to are the AvN dev node and the AvN parachain repos. So you can really play around with this. With the AvN dev node repo there, you can take that, you can build it, you can run things on it, and really play around with that, right? So if you're really keen about developing and testing things, how they will play with the AvN node, I tell you to really play around with this. So if you were unaware of that, so check that out. And then you have the Aventus parachain. So this is a parachain node of the Aventus network, right? So thinking about what the node of or what a parachain node probably looks like, I'll say, get this repo and play around with it. We've kind of made everything a bit simpler to run and use. So for example, the README is really great. You can follow that step by step and you just able to build quickly. I will tell you this, just a few things, that this runs smoothly on the Ubuntu 20.04. So check that out. If you've got like a Docker instance, some Docker container somewhere, you got a EC2 instance somewhere, Ubuntu 20.04, I said definitely play around with this. And then you can see this. The really cool thing here is you can take this, you can build a Docker image from that, you can set up your own local relay chain, and then you can have this node set up how many nodes you want and really see this whole parachain setup work locally on your computer, right? This is great. We've never released this kind of exposure into the Aventus network before. So if you are really keen to understand what that looks like, you can set this up on your local machine. That's exactly what this is for, to set up your own node, set up a relay chain. Polkadot themselves have released the code for and instructions and tutorials, and you can find that on their website, how to set up a relay chain. Set up a relay chain on your laptop, like set up with this, set up a couple of nodes, and then we just really play around with that. You can come into the pallets here, and you can see pallets. We've got all the pallets here. We've got all the AvN, the Ethereum events, NFT managers. And if you're curious about what they do, you can dive into any of these folders and see what they do. If you're curious about, oh, can I get an idea, like a little snippet of what that actually does, you can check out our white paper, which has like just a brief description of what these pallets actually do and how they work. So you can pull up the white paper on one side, pull up the code, and really just get into that. You know, you got for example, you got NFT manager, you're just clicking on that, you've got your source file there, which has tests. So you can do cargo tests to kind of just see all the tests that are in there, see them run. You can trick around with the test a bit, so you can see how those run as well. What if this was the case, or what if that was not the case? Right, you can play around with that there. You've got the actual code there. So all of this is just open there for you to actually play around with. Now, any questions so far? Okay, if you do have any questions, I'll say at any point in time, stop me and I'll be able to run you through any questions that you have. But yeah, I just wanted to point you to these two repos, the AvN parachain repo and the AvN dev node repo. If you're really curious about the code that we have, if you're curious about the pallets, these two repos would be great for you. If you're thinking about building code-wise, this would be great. We're taking more and more steps into providing a way for you to contribute to the Aventus code, a way for you to check things out for yourself. And that's what this is. So I say play around with it. And if you have great ideas, want to contribute to it, the repos are public. Please do contribute. We really want you to contribute. We want to see those PR requests come in. We want to see those discussion boards pop up there on GitHub saying you have this question, or simply, oh, I've checked this out and I love this piece of code, right? Or what will happen if we change this to that? We want to engage in this conversation with you about the code. That's really why we're doing this. We want you to contribute. We want you to be part of the history of the Aventus code. So please do check that out. And then finally, like I said, I was going to show you some unreleased technology that we have. So as you know, our gateway API is really some cutting edge stuff. When you're talking about the enterprise, our enterprise clients, you're talking about enterprise grade tooling, enterprise grade infrastructure, you're talking about the Web3 space, how all these things come together in one really cool solution. You're talking about Aventus, basically. That's what you're talking about there. And so we've been working in that space and leading the space in this way. But now we have an upgrade, a breaking change to our NPM, to our API, sorry then. And we are currently on 2.4. We're going to be releasing 3.0 at some point in time, but 3.0 is not just syntax change there. It introduces a lot of new tooling, a lot of new functionalities and caching. It's some really brilliant stuff that we've put together there. And I wanted to quickly show this to you. It's not out there at the moment. If you go on NPM, it's not there. I'm just going to quickly show this to you. But I just wanted to show it to you because right now the gateway docs are ready, so you know that it's ready to go. But we're going to put it out soon. But the gateway docs are ready. I just wanted to show it to you so you can see and so you understand a little bit of what we're doing here. Now, if you go to, where do we go with this? Okay. I guess it's a good place to start. user. Oh, okay, cool. So now what we've done is we've said, okay, it's possible that you're using this API as a single user or you're using this as a multi-user, right? So a multi-user is when you're probably doing like an app, something like that, a single user is just for yourself, something cute for yourself. You have these two options there. And now you can set up the API right out of the box in one of these two modes. And it says, okay, cool, I'm going to be used as a multi-user. These are some presets I need to set myself up with, and it's going to be ready for you in that way. Or you want to set yourself up as a single user, it can do that too. Some presets that are just done for you right at the back there. Now, this works down to being, even in terms of signing, right? We're saying a single user mode is when you declare your Siri, because that's your Siri. You can use that. You have access to that already. But a multi-user mode is where you have like a remote signer. So I have someone who will be using this app, this DApp, and they are going to be signing. They don't want to disclose their Siri. They don't want to disclose their private key. So, hey, DApp, you're going to be the API. You're going to be multiple users are going to be doing this. We need to give them a remote signer functionality for them to do that. So you have that there. We have some nonce caching there, which was not in previously there before, but we now have this nonce caching, and it makes the whole experience a lot more smoother to use. There's been some great feedback coming in just from the QA team already. It's some really fantastic stuff that we have going on there. Now, even in terms of how you, for example, you just use this, where are we going here? For example, just how you use this, right? It's a little bit more to write, just a couple more lines to write there, but the whole experience is a lot smoother. And it just puts you in the mode of when you're creating code, I'm creating for a single user, or I'm creating for a bunch of clients who are going to benefit from this great technology that I'm building out now. So just something for you to look forward to there. Now, as I have less than a minute on this, I just want to ask if there's any questions, if there's anything that you liked hearing today that you would like me to touch on it a bit more in the next AvN Tech Talk, or probably even release a video between now and the next AvN Tech Talk. I'm more than happy to do that for you. Any links that you want me to share across, of course, by the time we publish these videos, probably cut that into bite sizes. You see the links there in the description. So open the floor to any questions, any comments. Okay, I take it as no one's got any questions, any comments. That's fine. I really appreciate everyone for jumping on the call today. I really hope this was useful for you, not just informationary, but also very helpful for you in terms of building as a device.